Hey, T-Dope Queen heads. It's your girl, Dope Queen Phoebe here, and I'm chilling with my girl, Alana Glazer.
Sup, party people!
Our big moment has arrived, y'all. Season 3 of our podcast, So Many White Guys from WNYC Studios, is back, starting now.
I mean, seriously, you gotta hear it. Phoebe is defining the damn culture.
Ooh, so much pressure, but I think I'm ready for it. So we want to take a little time and give you a teeny eensy little bit of taste of our show, like a little amuse-bouche, if you will. Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is the first episode. This is my first interview of the year. I'm not going to build this one up because she needs no introductione. I'm talking about Zoe Isabella Kravitz. Okay, you know what? It's ridiculous that you even have to do this, but if you are not aware of the goddess that is Zoe Kravitz, I'm going to drop some information on you, okay? She's a musician, and her band Lola Wolf has toured all over with acts like Lily Allen and Miley Cyrus. She's an Emmy-winning actress. Oh, yeah. I mean, you might have heard this teeny tiny show she's done called Big Little Lies on HBO that dominated pop culture last year, and they're coming back with a season 2. She'll be playing the role of Lita Lestrange in this year's Fantastic Beasts movie. She's a brand ambassador for Yves Saint Laurent. What does that even mean? So now I present to you the woman behind the scarf of Lenny Kravitz, freaking Zoe Kravitz, bitch.
Hit it!
Okay, so Zoe, before we get into it, this is a very important question. How do I look? Because you are a model, you are an actress, you are all these fabulous things, musician, and I had to prepare this morning. Like, I fully showered, I washed everything, I put this wig on.
It looks good. I was admiring
Thank you. I have these like cute ass clogs I wore to give me.
Wait, let's see.
To show off my gams.
Yes, look at that little bit of skin.
Yes.
Showing off your arch, girl.
Yes, I want to show off my ballerina arch for you. So did I do a good job, or are you kind of like, girl, try again?
No, you look great. And last time I saw you, you had different hair.
I did.
And I think this really suits you.
Yeah, I change my hair a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
And everyone likes to remind me of it whenever I have interviews by white people. They're like, you change your hair so much. I'm like, have you met a black person? We fucking change our hair every day.
But you are, I think, you are constantly on lists for like best dressed, and like people usually like use you as like inspo for like young, hip millennials. Do you see yourself like that?
I mean, fashion is fun. I've always thought it was fun. I've always thought it was kind of a form of self-expression, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool that it's inspiring other people, because I think that's what clothes should do. It's like, but now I feel old all the time. I see all these like young cool
you're
kids.
29. You
I
cannot.
know.
I'm 33. I don't even feel old. You cannot feel old. You're like dew. You have natural dew on your skin. You didn't put anything on your face. That's natural. I have to like fucking use architecture to create the illusion of dew. I've lost the dew when I turned 30. I dried up.
That's terrifying. I have 1 year of my dew left.
Yes. But what was it like? Because Jess and I are like, our first times on like giant billboards has been for T-Dope Queens, which I still can't wrap my head around. I'm like, LOL, that's my face. So what is it like when you see a giant billboard of your face, and this is like a face of beauty that, us plebeians should, look up to? That's got to be wild, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy, especially like the billboard on Sunset or the one on Lafayette, which is, I grew up in New York. Like, I go to La Esquina all the time. Since I was a kid, I used to like always go there and like try and get in without ID and shit, So it's crazy to see yourself on a building that you used to hang out with as like a snotty 15-year-old drinking 40s,
You were drinking 40s at 15, Zozo.
Oh, yeah. I know. Is that bad to tell people?
No, that's like, what was I drinking at 15? I think I was drinking like Fanta.
That's appropriate.
Cut with nothing.
You're like, milk. I was drinking milk. Yeah, I don't know. New York kids. Yeah, we were drinking like, well, maybe 16, but
It's still the same.
Old English was my shit. Just disgusting malt liquor.
Yeah. One of the things that I really admire about you is how outspoken you are. You just kind of like, you don't care. You know what I mean? Like but truly you're like, I'm not gonna like pretend everything is perfect and Hollywood is like amazing for people of color and women. Like you're not going to present that narrative. You're going to talk about the realness of like the stuff that you have to face that, I didn't think you necessarily had to face. I was like, she's been famous forever. She's stunning. Like she probably doesn't have the same sort of like struggles that maybe other women of color in this industry do. But you do. In an interview you did with Guardian, you talked about how you were blocked from auditioning for The Dark Knight Rises. Mm-hmm. That's for real? Can you tell everyone what happened?
This was it's so funny. I like maybe just blocked it out because it bothered me so much. But I just remember getting a call about having an audition for that movie. And then all of a sudden, they decided to not even let me audition because they decided to not go quote unquote urban with the role.
That is so nuts.
But like not even being allowed in the room, it's crazy. And also deciding like urban, what the fuck does that word mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of resistance because of the color of my skin. I've been told you're not what they're looking for, and all-American girl type.
Right.
I'm like, I was born in Venice Beach. What are you
Yeah, that's very American.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously racism is real everywhere, and specifically in an industry where they're able to not hire you because of the way you look. It's one of the only industries where they can flat out say that because it'd be illegal to, even though I'm sure it happens to tons of people trying to get a job in an office or something.
Right.
But they can straight up just say no because you're not all American or enough. Yeah.
How do you combat that? Because, I think when you're not even allowed in the room, like how does that affect you mentally and emotionally? How do you bounce back from that where you're like, I work really hard and then you're saying I can't even enter?
I mean, I think it made me work harder. Yeah. I think it made me work harder. I think it made me more determined to try and get roles that felt authentic to me, not what people thought I should be doing because I'm Black. And not that I don't want to tell all kinds of stories, but just not allowing myself to be stereotyped. Still auditioning for roles that were written for a white girl. I picked up really early on reading scripts that character descriptions.
Oh, yeah.
White people don't get them.
Yes.
White people, well, it's like Stacy, 22, perky.
Yeah.
That's it. But if it's John, 25, Asian or Indian or Black, but they're getting better at it, but it almost never even says Caucasian. We're supposed to assume that everybody is white.
Yeah.
Also, it's like I recently had a meeting with a director, and he was putting together a cast, and the story was about like 4 different couples, and one of the couples was Black, or one of the guys was Black, and he said, well, you should play that guy's wife.
Yeah.
And I just, out of curiosity, couldn't I play any of these guys' wives?
Right.
Did the Black people have to always be married to each other?
Yeah.
And it just really, I think it made everyone really uncomfortable, and I did not get that job. And they did cast a Black woman to be the Black man's wife. I'm like, cool, never mind, I'll just go fuck myself. But it's just crazy how narrow-minded people still are.
And not only does like tokenism exist in Hollywood, where it's like we're kind of like put into these sort of boxes, but I think also in real life, like I know I've definitely had moments where it's like, oh, I'm the Black friend.
Oh my God.
Cool. Yeah. And that's like frustrating where you're like, huh? What? I didn't even know.
I didn't even know I was a Black friend.
That's the crazy part. You're like, I didn't even know. And then you like show up to like some house party and you're like, there's no one
I'm
else.
the one.
Yeah.
I'm the one, aren't I? I'm the, got it. Yeah, I've had that happen many times.
You're like, great. Okay, I'm going to just take this dip and then leave.
Yeah, and they're like, the Black person's gone. We can make Black jokes now.
Yeah.
Because you know that shit happens.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dig into the Big Little Lies of it all. I am obsessed with that show. It was the only show last year that I had to watch when it aired.
That's
like
so
I
cool.
would like race home and turn on HBO, and I'm like, I cannot be a second late. what has it been like for you and the rest of the cast? Like, you've won awards, you've gotten like all this attention for it. It does talk about, physical violence towards women. So what is it like now to see that this show has kind of taken on its own life? And I think for a lot of people, it has been kind of like, oh, I have experienced this and the show is like representing me. How does that feel for you?
It's amazing. I mean, I think first and foremost, when you're making something about such a delicate subject, you just hope that it feels authentic and honest and not like we're exploiting an issue to create entertainment. So I think that was my biggest concern, having such a wonderful reaction from men, from women, from people who have been abused, have friends who have been abused. It's been amazing. I've heard stories about women who watched the show and were able to have breakthroughs from their own abusive relationships. And so that's incredible. And then people just liked the show so much. I mean, I don't think any of us saw that coming. I was just happy to be on the same set as all those actresses, It was crazy. Like, every week a new episode would come and all of a sudden, like, someone would stop me on the street and, like, be like, Bonnie! And I was like, oh, my God. And then, the last episode, if you haven't watched it, I'm
it's
like, I don't...
what are you doing?
Yeah, I just, like, if you haven't seen it yet, I can't help you.
Yeah, it's like, if you haven't watched it yet, I don't trust you at the midterm elections. You don't have your life together.
It's not a spoiler alert if you just come to the party late.
Yeah.
But anyway, just that week, I just remember, like, going to the grocery store and everyone being like, you did it! And I was like, what did I do?
Yeah.
But it was just... yeah, man, it's nuts. And we're doing it again, which is nuts.
Season 2, which is like, so Meryl Streep is cast in it, which is...
Let's just take a moment of silence.
Okay. What was that like? Everyone's like, Meryl, it's Nicole Kidman, Laura Dern, every white lady that Oprah is like, I love them. So it's just like...
they've been knighted.
Yeah. It's such a phenomenal cast. And what I think is great is that a lot of times TV shows don't have predominantly female casts. And so to be a part of a cast like that it became such a pop culture moment. And that, so many, I think a lot of times... men, I'm calling you out, men, you can be a little lazy or be like, well, I can't relate to this character because it's a woman. In a way that, like, I could relate to, Walter White on Breaking Bad, and I'm, like, not a,
bald, white, meth head, cancer patient.
Like, exactly. I'm, like, not that. And so what I think is great that this is such a female-led story, and it really has resonated with everyone. Why do you think that people were able to look past their own maybe sort of biases or their own blindsidedness to sort of embrace this show the way they have?
I think it's less about people all of a sudden being willing to look a little bit deeper and more about being presented or women having the opportunity to play real people. Women are, we're like someone's wife all the time or someone's, friend and... or the hot girl or whatever, we get used as accessories to stories that are about men. And the fact that these roles were written so well and they had so many layers to them, they're such complex roles, I think people were able to relate to it because they were presented with some real women.
Yeah. So you're modeling, you're acting, you have 2 movies coming out.
I have a film called Gemini coming out this year, and I have a film called Kin coming out this year.
And Fantastic Beasts, right?
And Fantastic Beasts.
How does that feel to just be like, you're killing it right now?
I'm still just looking ahead. I'm like, I want to do more, I want to do more, I want to get better, So I'm certainly not like, cool, I've accomplished it.
Yeah. So with Fantastic Beasts, people are so excited about that. Were you a big sort of Harry Potter person before you got involved with Fantastic Beasts?
I wasn't. Yeah. I just never got into it. I actually think everyone was so obsessed with it in middle school that I was rebelling. And I think I probably just like lost out on that because I was trying to be different or something. Yeah. I read the first couple books and loved it. Yeah. But I've always loved magic. I mean, like the idea of witchcraft and wizardry has always been something that I've thought is just... I mean, I fully thought I was a witch and still believe that I am a witch.
What are your witchy powers?
I mean, I feel like I can like manifest things.
Like what? Like you could speak something to existence, be like,
yeah, which I think it's like the secret, right?
The secret, of course, yeah.
But I think that is magic, you know.
Of course it is. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like you were putting spells on people.
No, I would never. Yeah. I would never. That's like, I mean, there's actually someone I would put a spell on.
Watch out.
Watch out, 45.
We'll get back to Fantastic Beasts, but Donald Trump.
45. Let's not say his name. He's a number, and there was a number before him. There'll be a number after him.
Yes.
You are nothing but a number.
Where do you feel like we are right now because of him, and where do you think we're going to go? I mean, I have no idea.
I have no idea either. He's done and said so many things that I would think would make him no longer.
Yeah.
And yet he is still.
Yeah. There's a heartlessness to it all that is shocking and also disturbing.
He just doesn't care.
Well, I am hopeful that I just look at what's happening in Florida and seeing those students speak out so intelligently and eloquently. Like, I think that we're going to go in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, they're challenging all the rules, the quote-unquote rules. You know, it's like the same thing as your vote doesn't matter. It's the same thing as like a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl. And we're all like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and black people should go over here and white people should go over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden someone says, wait, but does it have to be that way?
Mm-hmm.
And once you start asking those questions, you, make a lot of white people, rich, white, powerful people very unhappy and uncomfortable. And you start having really interesting conversations and breakthrough in both art and life.
Yeah.
So I think, this is a great time where everyone is asking a lot of questions. And that is the beginning of it all, I think.
Yeah. I like that. That's good. Okay. So, you know, Zoe, you're pretty famous.
You know what's really crazy? And I always kind of feel like fame is such an uncomfortable thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an uncomfortable thing to talk about.
But why is it uncomfortable for you?
Just because you're supposed to, it's like not humble or something to acknowledge it or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's funny because I know how I perceive other people like, oh, this person's really famous.
Yeah.
But when it's about yourself, you have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
It does. But I think we can all admit there's a huge like family legacy with the three of you, Lenny, and Lisa. And, you know, you talked in a podcast with SZA about sort of like the weight of the family legacy on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. And so when you decided to get into a career where you're singing and you're acting and you're modeling, how were you able to get to a place where you could like overcome the pressure that was on your shoulders and you were able to feel like I'm my own entity and like I'm not being
just
judged?
The daughter of...
Yeah, I'm not being judged by my parents.
I think it just took time. I think anyone, even if you're not coming from the exact same situation as me, it takes time to grow into yourself and to find out who you are regardless of where you come from. So I think anyone can relate to that, you know? And I definitely second-guessed myself, and I definitely felt pressure or judgment or like people thought I didn't deserve what I was getting because I'm the daughter of someone famous and it was just handed to me. And in some ways it was, you know, and I got into the door a lot easier than some girl living in middle America who dreams of being an actress that doesn't know how to go about doing that. I know that I was incredibly privileged.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I worked really hard, and I don't think directors need to hire the daughter of Lenny Kravitz to make their movie any better. You know, you look at someone like George Miller, who had Charlize Theron and is a genius and made Mad Max. He wasn't like, ooh, you know what's going to make this movie better? Lenny Kravitz's daughter. And you have to look at things like that and say, people who I respect want to work with me, and I'm getting these jobs. And the more I work, the more not confident, because I still second-guess myself, but at least I believe that I'm in it for the long haul. I'm working hard. I haven't given up. I'm a hard worker.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. I'm a hard worker.
Yeah. What was it like growing up with your parents? You told me that like you lived in New York and you're drinking Old English, but like what was
that
like
wasn't them. That was my
that was you.
They were good. They were really good parents.
Yeah.
Well, I was born in Venice Beach, and then I lived in. My parents got divorced when I was 2, and I lived with my mom till I was 11 in Topanga Canyon, and then I moved in with my dad when I was 11, and he was living in Miami at the time, which is weird.
Miami's weird.
Look, Miami's beautiful. Just it was hard. It's a hard place for like a mixed brown girl coming of age to. I didn't fit in there.
Yeah. Was it like a lot of just like white people?
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge mixture of people there. There's Cuban people and Brazilian people and black people, but I went to a private school. You know, he wanted to send me to the best, quote unquote, best school, and I was one of 3 black kids going to
same.
Yeah, so and all the girls, you know, they have their nice hair and their like Louis Vuitton purses and like I don't know, I just didn't fit in.
Yeah.
And then I moved to New York when I was 15 and went to an art school and just fell in love with the city.
Wait, you moved here by yourself at 15?
Well, no, I technically moved here with my dad. I was like, I have to get out of Miami. I can't live here anymore.
Yeah.
But then he went on tour, and I actually ended up living with cousins until I was 17, and then I moved out when I was 17.
Yeah. What was it like for you growing up? Like, I'm sure you must have had pressure from, like, everywhere being like, well, what are you? You had to define yourself to me before you can even, like, finish defining yourself to your own self. So, like, what was your process like?
It's been interesting. You know, I think, both my parents are half black and half white. So, I have black family, I have white family. I identify and love both of them, or both sides of them. And it's interesting because, someone looks at your skin and just says, okay, you're black. And especially when I was younger, when I was, like I said, living in Miami and going to that school and being one of the only black people, I wasn't like, hell yeah, I'm black. I was like, oh, well, I'm also white.
Yeah.
I'm white too, guys, you know, and I had to grow into my blackness. I had to experience life a little bit more and learn about black culture and black people and, really see what it is to be a black woman in America. And I'm so proud to be black, but it's not just because that's what everyone feels comfortable calling me because of the color of my skin. It's because I've had experience living in this country as a black woman, and I love black people.
Yeah.
I love where I come from, and I'm incredibly proud. But it was a journey getting there because, when someone tries to tell you what you are instead of you getting there yourself, it's complicated.
Yeah. And so what kind of advice could you give to, like, I don't know, my niece or, like, people who are listening who are still, like, trying to figure themselves out and figure out how to relate to, all the different sides of their, race and their, how do you get there? I know it's a different journey for everybody, but
I mean, it's funny because I've gone through so many for a longest time I wanted to be like, colorblind, like it doesn't even matter. We're all this Sam and it doesn't even matter, and like fighting that, you know what I mean? And now I'm like, it does matter, and it doesn't mean that there has to be separation or one has to be considered better than the other. It's just like it's okay to acknowledge that there are differences here and we are different in some ways. So it's so tricky because I feel like people try and do one or the other. It's either like you don't see color, which is like, see color.
Yeah.
Color's beautiful.
Yeah.
All the colors are beautiful. I think you just have to, I don't know, live your life and see what you connect to. I mean, it's really that simple.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you didn't like necessarily fit in high school, but what was it like Like, did you go with your dad on the road?
I did, yeah. I went on tour with my dad for maybe, what was it? Maybe like a year or something when I was in like 7th grade or something like that. He went on a tour. It was bizarre. I spent a lot of time on tour buses. And he just didn't want to be away from me for so long.
Yeah.
It was cool. I would be studying history, like world history, and I would be looking at something in a book, and then I would be able to go to the Sistine Chapel or wherever it was. So that is bananas.
I wish that was my life.
I was studying it at the same time.
I was doing dial-up on AOL, and you're like, quick pit stop to the Sistine Chapel.
Well, what was cool was that my tutor would kind of, like, she'd plan the curriculum around where we were traveling, too.
Oh, cool.
So it was, that was an amazing experience. But then also, eventually, you really need to be, social and around other kids.
Yeah. Did you get along with other kids, like, when you were in school, or was it kind of like,
I got along with other kids. It was always, like, I have very specific memories of whenever I would go to a new school. The whole school would have been talking, like, my dad probably would have gone to visit the school before to see the school. And then, everyone knows how traumatizing the first day of school is anyway. And I usually, because I was moving around a lot, I was, like, almost never just coming on the first day of school. I was always coming, like, in the middle of the year to different schools. And it was always an event, it was always like everyone was whispering and saying, oh my God, Linda Kravitz's daughter's coming to the school. And then he would come pick me up in like a netted shirt in a sports car,
I didn't even think about that. It's like, Lenny, come on, just pick me up in like a T-shirt from Sam's Club.
He couldn't.
Come on.
He just couldn't, He like couldn't. Like, I love you, Zoe, but I can't put on a full shirt. I don't love you that much. No, he does. He was just doing his thing. But
when you were on the road with your dad for that year, did that kind of like inspire you to get into music?
I always loved music. I always loved singing. I did a lot of musical theater.
You did?
Yeah.
What plays?
I did Grease in high school.
Nice.
I played Rizzo. And Rizzo's the best.
Yeah.
I got cast as, well, I didn't get cast, but the drama teacher wanted me to play Sandy, and I was like, I'm playing Rizzo.
Yeah, Sandy's boring as fuck.
Yeah,
y'all.
she doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and then she like changes at the end. I'm like, you don't need to put on leather pants to give a fucking Danny
Rizzo
Zuko.
gets pregnant and is like,
that movie is like so intense.
It is an intense movie. They're also all like 35.
Yeah. Rizzo was a hard 38 playing.
He was like a truck driver, I was like, I can't wait till I'm 16 and look like that,
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with, I had this VHS tape that my grandma taped of a production of Into the Woods with Bernadette Peters.
Ooh.
Which was like my favorite thing. Anyway, I loved music always. And when I was, in my earlier 20s, and I wasn't really getting much work, so I had a lot of time on my hands. Mm-hmm. That's when I started making music with Jimmy and doing Lola Wolf, and it was mostly to try and keep myself creative and not be waiting for some white man in a suit to tell me, you're allowed to be creative now. Go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not too much stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's great to be able to make art even when you're not being paid to do it, or being told it's allowed now.
Yeah, but you've gone on the road, so you've opened for Miley Cyrus and Lily Allen, and what's that been like?
It's an interesting experience, especially. It's not like we're going on the road with like a huge crew and like things are set up. We're like in a van following around someone else, going to play for people who did not come to see us. So it was challenging, having to get on a stage when you don't feel like it, when you're nervous, in front of people who aren't necessarily interested, when you've been driving for 6 hours and slept in a motel, and then I wouldn't ever do it again.
Oh, so you think you're done with touring already?
I think I'll play shows. We're going to put out a record soon. And where it's like finishing touches on the record, which we've been working on forever.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
That's amazing.
And we will definitely play some shows. I just don't think we'll do a whole tour.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. So you're 29, your birthday's in December?
First, yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. Honestly, like 30s are the shit.
Thank you. I'm excited too, man. 30s, let's do it.
Yeah, and keep being my hair inspiration. I got. Remember when you had like the really long braids with a braided bang, like the black super long braids?
Yes.
I copy that.
You did it?
I did.
Yes.
So in your 30s, keep having hairstyles that I can copy, please.
I'll keep on changing my hair. I think I'm going to do the braids again for the show. Yes. So, it'd be fun to change it up again.
Okay, cute. Well, let's go get our hair done together.
Yeah, I like that we ended on hair.
Right?
And hair.
All right, thank you for coming in,
Yeah,
Zoe.
thank you for having me. Thank you for having this podcast. I think it's super important.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thanks, girl.
Yes.
All right, y'all, that's it. That's a little taste of our sexy ass show. And there's so much more where that came from. And we don't want you to miss any of it. So subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts. And in the meantime, the first episode is right there. So go search So Many White Guys. That's So with 3 O's, wherever you get your pods. We are waiting for you to listen to it. So go right now. What are you doing? Why are you still here listening to me? Go, 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 go.